Hey there YouTube, late night, KS Cuber back again with another unboxing video, and man, I cannot tell you how excited I am to get into this one here. This is a massive unboxing from SpeedCubeShop, and these are a bunch of the cubes that I kind of missed out on, all the different new releases and things like that, besides the Shadow M, which I picked up from a different store. So anyway, without further ado, and without further intro, let's get right into it. Really happy to be back with these unboxings. Here we go. Okay, and that is the intro. With that, you probably got a pretty good idea of what is in this unboxing. A really good assortment of some more modern cubes, some real nice cubes, some possible new mains, and also some interesting budget cubes which have come out recently that I want to try out. So without further ado, I'm really excited. Let's get into these. And I think I'm going to start off with these mats right here. I got two of these SCS Cosmic mats. They were on clearance, plus the 15% off you got with the NATS18 code. So I picked up two of them. Let me just quickly pull one out of the packaging here. It's actually the first SCS mat that I've ever tried out. I'll put this other one aside, and possibly will use that in different videos. It's actually a little bit smaller than I thought it would be. It's not quite as square. It's a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but all in all, it's very thick, very nice quality, and just nice and cushy. I feel if I drop a cube on here, it's mini Zanchi. As you can see, that barely makes any noise versus I'm not going to drop it on the actual table. Very hard. But as you can see, it really does reduce the shock, and that's a really nice mat. So that's what I'm going to be filming the rest of this video on. This is not sponsored by SCS, and I'm also not sponsored by any cube brand at the moment. But without further ado, let's get into these, and let's just go in order. Let me work on getting this in focus, and also in the frame. First up here, we have a transparent blue, possibly glow in the dark. I believe this is by Z-Cube. This is a Gear Shift knockoff. The original one obviously was made by Mefferts, and I actually have one sitting right over there. But I noticed this came out, and it's a very inexpensive version of the Gear Shift. Very interesting to see how it turns and all that. I'm really not much into gear puzzles, but this one is pretty interesting. As you can see, here's the puzzle, and let me just quickly try turning it by the corners there. It does turn pretty stiffly, but also turns okay. This is definitely not really a speed-solving puzzle, and it's more just a collector's puzzle in my opinion. It's interesting that there are brands making the kind of knockoff versions now, because even the original Mefferts ones aren't super expensive, and they can be had pretty easily. It's definitely a pretty entry-level puzzle that a lot of people get, a lot of new cubers get. But as you can see, there it is, and turns about like the original, and really interesting in that kind of luminous blue, which I'm not sure if it's actually glow in the dark. I'll put it up on the screen if it is or not. But either way, very nice. And there it is, a Z Gear Shift. And actually I can just quickly compare it to the original there, and it's pretty much a one-to-one comparison. Very, very comparable, as you can see right there. Okay, next up, let's go for a Fisher Cube in the Cubing Classroom series. The Cubing Classroom by MoYu series has been releasing some really crazy puzzles lately. I definitely want to get a bunch more of them, including like a Ready Cube barrel and some other things like that, all at very, very affordable prices. I'm actually really excited for the 8x8 that they just came out with, and also the 9x9 that's going to be coming out pretty soon after that. Sneak preview, I probably will be getting a magnetic version of at least the 8x8 and probably the 9x9 as well. Just all in all, their innovations in the cubing world have been pretty impressive. Both the prices that the puzzles are coming in and also the quality of the puzzles. They're very, very nice puzzles and at very affordable prices. This is the Fisher Cube in that lineup, and I don't remember how much this was on SCS, but I have to say right around the $3 mark. And this thing turns exactly as you expect an out-of-the-box Cubing Classroom cube to turn. Basically has a standard MF3 mechanism in there, and with some lubrication and tensioning, it'll be pretty good. Almost the best on the market as far as Fisher Cubes go, because there really aren't a lot of good speed Fisher Cubes on the market. Quickly check corner cutting here. It definitely does need some tensioning. It comes on pretty tight tensions out of the box. As you can see, it'll cut a little bit, and reverse cutting just a slight bit as well. But all in all, after some setup, I have a feeling this is going to be about the best Fisher Cube on the market, and as you can see from first impressions, it turns pretty well. I like the stickler shades as well. And of course, the checkerboard pattern always looks a bit funky on a Fisher Cube, but there it is. The MoYu Cubing Classroom Fisher Cube. Okay, Coming next up here, I actually traded one of these cubes away. This is a Cyclone Boys G6 6x6, and I wanted to get another one. This is definitely my choice as of right now for the best on the market budget 6x6. And let's see how the first turns out of the box on this one. Change my view or keep it the same on this one. Try and keep in focus there. But actually this one comes a lot faster and also a bit looser out of the box than my last one did. But if you can see from the initial turns, this thing turns really, really well. I mean, compared to like the Wuhua or even the Wuhua V2, I really did like this one more than that cube even. It's a little bit more stable and a little bit more controllable than those. It's not quite as flexible, so it's definitely better for beginner solvers, but also, man, it's just a really impressive budget option from Cyclone Boys for a 6x6. It was my main for a long time, and I finally got a YuXin Red M, and then after that, the Shadow M by Chi. But all in all, I definitely still recommend this if you want to get into 6x6 and don't have a lot to spend. A very, very good option. Let me just quickly check the tensions here. It definitely comes actually on pretty tight tensions out of the box, so it must just be really well lubricated, because this one turns quite a bit faster than my other one did. I wonder if there are a couple batches of this one, because my other one turned really well and pretty quick, but this one just seems to turn a lot faster. Also the layers, top layers a little bit looser, and it's very, very consistent on layer turning throughout the layers. I'd say the center two layers there are a little bit different than the rest of them, but all in all, that is amazing, amazing 6x6 for the price you pay for that. I think it's right around or under $10 depending on where you buy it. The Cyclone Boys G6 6x6. Okay, next up here, let's go for this Cubing Classroom mini cube set. I was actually really excited to see Cubing Classroom release this right here because I'm really into the kind of mini and keychain cubes. And this is a full set of them all the way from, I think, 30 millimeters to 35, 40, 45, and 50. Is that correct? I don't know. But anyway, this is basically just a very affordable and very interesting set of all sorts of mini cubes. And that is really cool. Let me quickly get a knife out here and try to cut through this super thick plastic tape stuff that is holding this thing shut. And let's get right into it. And there it is. So to remember where the set comes in, I guess I could start putting price up on the screen. I generally buy from Chinese sites and get those delivered, so I usually pay a little bit less than what SCS charges on most of these. But SCS's prices are pretty fair, and you tend to get really fast shipping from them. Like I said, not sponsored, but I definitely do appreciate the quick shipping and other good customer service so far that I've gotten from SCS. Okay, and there they are, all the different mini cubes from the Cubing Classroom line. As you can see, the three smallest have keychains on them, and the two larger ones do not. I really like the stickerless scheme on these. It is a pretty standard, just Cubing Classroom shades, which would be kind of just full bright and a little bit lighter blue on that. So very, very nice. And also has kind of a matte feeling to the plastic. Out of the box turning, this is the 30 millimeter one right here, is very good. I definitely will be removing that keychain pretty quickly, which luckily they make easy with these because it is pretty annoying for turning. But man, these things really turn well out of the box, and with some setup, they turn even better. As you can see, my finger tricks are pretty lacking because of the size of this one, and there's a corner twist. But basically, these are based on the MoYu Cubing Classroom MF3 S Cube, which is their stickerless super budget cube, and it's actually a bit of an underdog in my opinion. I like it just as much as the MF3 RS, even though that was the hyped one. And these basically turn exactly like that. Very, very impressive turning. Can't barely do that top and bottom turn because this thing's so small. But if you want a cube for on the go, these are the cubes for you. And these things are really awesome. Okay, so there's a 30 millimeter one. Let me quickly pull the keychain off this one here. This is the 35 millimeter one, and that's just getting more into the usable realm, even more than the 30 millimeter one. Let me quickly check tensions out of the box here. Out of the box tensions are actually pretty decent. I wouldn't say you want to loosen them much more than that, but they also aren't the tightest they could be. They're pretty flexible cubes, and they don't feel quite as stable as cheese budget puzzles. They're a little bit quicker, and all in all, just a little bit better for speed cubing than those. I'd say definitely be fun for beginner solvers, but also welcome to advanced solvers who want to solve on the road. That thing also turns very, very well. Let me quickly check corner cutting on this one here, and as you can see, if we go straight to 45, it will cut 45 pretty easily, actually. A little bit past 45. Wow, we're going almost to 60 there, and that starts catching a little bit. And reverse, right at line to line. Very impressive. That's the 35 millimeter one, and here we go to the 40, which is the last one with the keychain. Like I said, these are pretty easily removable with a little clip right there, so that makes it pretty nice. And same with this one as the last ones, but getting a little bit larger even still. I'm not sure why you buy all 5 of these, but also why wouldn't you buy all 5 of these? Just because, I mean, it's a pretty awesome little set. And here you go. There it is, the 40mm. Next up, the 45, and this one actually comes a little bit drier than the other ones there, but same exact turning, a little bit sandy out of the box, and it'll get a lot smoother and faster with some break-in. Has a kind of matte textured plastic, as I was saying before, and I think this one's a little bit tighter tensions because it won't quite cut 45, and reverse cuttings right about there. So all in all, I am very, very impressed with these, and this one here at 50mm is actually a really cool size. It's kind of the size of the old Diane Zanchis that a lot of people use for one-handed that I actually don't have. So actually I'm really excited about trying this one out a little bit more. I like the 46 and 47mm cubes you get with the Valk Mini and the Shengshao Mini. But this one's just a little bit larger than that, and it'll be pretty fun to actually try some speed solving on. As you can see, turns pretty well, as all the rest. So anyway, that is the Cubing Classroom Mini Cube set, and that is really, really cool. I've been meaning to get that one for a while. And there they all are. Now I have 5 cubes for the price of 1. But anyway, what cubes you're buying? Okay, on to the next one here. And let's go for the first of the nice cubes here. And I'm just going to go for an oddball one. This is a Mini Valk 3, and you're probably wondering, you may have 3 Mini Valk 3s at least, don't you? Well, this one's a little bit different. Since I first tried the Mini Valk, I've really wanted a magnetic version, which this one is not magnetic, but I did get SCS to do a full setup and also full fitted sticker set on this cube right here. As you can see, straight out of the box, it turns a little bit gummy, as is generally accepted with SCS's setup service, and also it is all set up and ready to cube, speed cube out of the box, which I'm definitely going to be magnetizing this one in the near future. But wow, that thing turns absolutely amazing, as you expect of a Mini Valk. It turns just like the full-size Valk, except in Mini, which why wouldn't you want that? I'm definitely going to be magnetizing this one, as I said, and that's why I wanted to get one of these. And I decided that I actually wanted to get it with really nice stickers and everything straight out of the box, so I got it with my shades and everything else, and there it is. Wow, super, super excited for this one, and that's what I've been looking forward to getting for a while. Really, really nice looking. SCS did a great job on the full fit stickering of this, and also the setup. Definitely be magnetizing that, and probably show that off in a future video. And just for sake of completeness, since this is an unboxing, if you haven't seen the Mini Valks before, they come with this nice little packet right here, and also some extra pieces in case you break a piece, which would be unfortunate, but it's nice that it comes with those. So anyway, let's just quickly go into this packet here, which I'm sure you've seen a Valk packet before. It's kind of like you're buying an iPhone or something. There's your little Valk 3 little card type thing, a QR code, Matt's Valk, and also it says solution on there. Oh man, this thing is going to teach you, if you scan that QR code, how to solve the cube. Then you have another picture of assumably Matt's Valk, a little statement piece inside there, and then you have the Valk sticker. It's kind of like the Apple sticker, except it's the Valk. So anyway, I guess that's about it for the Valk. Let's move in to another of the budget puzzles that I picked up here. This is actually one I was really excited for when I saw this release, the Chi Master pyraminx, and in stickerless. That is really, really cool. It's interesting to have Matt's Valk on the side of the box there, but let's just rip right into this here. And that's about the state it came in. There we go. One of the tips decided to let loose, but that shouldn't be a big issue. They should just snap right back in place. But if you remember, Shengshao has had a Master pyraminx for a while now, and that one was pretty decent. This one, though, being stickerless and also being by Chi, I anticipate this is going to be, for sure, the best new speed Master pyraminx on the market, and also a really fun non-WCA puzzle to solve. As you can see, the shades are really, really nice right there. And let's just get into first turns. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. If I describe it, I'd say it's like a more stable X-Man Bell pyraminx. It's got the primary internals kind of like that. It's interesting. Those are not primary internals, and those are primary internals. It's kind of interesting how they did that. But anyway, the turning is very, very smooth. Has kind of a click at each and every kind of step there, but I don't see any ball bearings in there. I don't think it has ball bearings. I wonder if it's magnetic? That would actually be really interesting, but I also don't think it's magnetic. So I wonder, has some sort of clicking mechanism. I'm not sure exactly how that's implemented. It almost feels ball bearingless and almost looks ball bearingless. But if you haven't seen before, this is a Master pyraminx. It's the higher order of the pyraminx, and this is a really fun solve. Definitely be getting some solves in on this. I'll post them on Instagram here in a little while. I'm definitely not the fastest Master pyraminx solver, but I definitely can solve one. And wow, that Chi would release a puzzle like this is awesome. I'm hoping they're going to be doing some more non-WCA puzzles in the future, but for right now, this is what we have. the Chi Master Pyraminx, and stickerless no less. That is really awesome. Okay, and next up here, another thing from Chi. This is one of their 2 mini cubes they just released. There's one by YJ and one by Chi. I thought they were both by Chi, but then I actually realized that maybe one's by YJ and one's by Chi. But either way, this is a really cool mini cube by Chi. Let me see if I can get in focus there. And I'll try to remove the keychain on this one. As you can see, it's the same exact easy quick release mechanism. Makes it super easy to get rid of that. And as you can see, here it is. It's a pillowed cube, first of all, which makes it really interesting. And secondly, it is very, very tiny. I believe this one is actually the larger of the 2 pillowed mini cubes that came out, which the other one might be our YJ. I'm not 100% sure. I should be more well versed on that. But either way, I definitely will be picking that one up in the future as well. But first impressions, this thing turns pretty well. Let me quickly check corner cutting. It will corner cut, not that well. It must be on pretty tight tensions. Nah, not a lot of corner cutting right there. It sort of feels like a corner cut, but then it won't really. And a little bit of reverse in there. I'm assuming this is a tensional mechanism, but I'm not exactly sure about that. I'm just trying to get the center caps off here, and they don't seem to want to come off. So I don't know a lot about this cube, I guess. I was going to check the mechanism here quickly too, if I can get out a piece. I don't know what to think about this one. So actually, I'd say the turning is very, very good out of the box for a mini cube. It's pretty smooth, it's pretty quick, and fairly flexible, but it doesn't seem to have a lot of corner cutting. I actually don't think that this has a springed mechanism in it. I figured it would, but it seems to be kind of a snap-together variety cube. Maybe it has internal screws or something else. But for right now, I guess that is about how it is. It's not really going to be quite as good for speed cubing as like the Cubing Classroom minis or something else like that. Let me quickly compare it to some other mini cubes here. Here's where you can really see how small this cube is. Here it is compared to the 30mm Cubing Classroom cube. And I'd have to say, to the centers there, it must be right around 30mm, but to the edges, it's more like 24. That thing is super, super tiny. That is really cool. And as you can see, next to a full-size cube here, this is a Valk 3. It is quite a bit smaller than that. So I don't know, something fun to have in your keychain, just travel around with, just do some casual solves on. It's obviously not a speed solving thing, it's more of a novelty puzzle. But it is very, very cool for that, and a very good addition to my collection. Okay, and next up here, and we're getting into some of the more exciting new releases. Let me change my focus here quickly. This is the GAN 354M, the new 3x3 release from GAN. This is what delayed my order and made it ship out later because I pre-ordered this and then eventually it just shipped along with the whole order. Let me slide open the box and let's get right into this unboxing here. I'm really interested to see how this compares to the SM, as that's a cube that I've had kind of a mixed opinions on. I've had some really good ones, and also, I don't know, the standard one that I had, at first I wasn't the hugest fan of it, and there's going to be a problem right off the bat. I don't know why. A lot of people had the problems with the previous GES packaging. I never really had a problem, but there you go. As you can see, this one's pretty loose, and it just about dumped everywhere. As you can see, it's open right there. First of all, this uses a new GES system. I believe this is the GES V3, and they're actually larger and incompatible with the GAN Air SM or the V2 nuts, but not a big deal. It comes with 3 extra sets, and also the ones that are in the cube, which I'm not sure what type they are. Here are purple, blue, and yellow, so I'd assume maybe the clears are in the actual cube. I'm not sure, but either way, there is a new tensioning tool and the new GES V3 nuts. You also get a little GAN manual in the box, and also 2 other purple GS nuts that fell out there when that thing almost let loose. And then also, of course, the cube itself. So, like I was saying, this is kind of interesting compared to the GAN Air SM, because first of all, it comes with a new type of tensioning system, and secondly, this has a stickerless design. This can be made stickerless, as you can see right here. I did get in stickerless. And also, this is a 54mm cube, which I don't know if anybody knows how I feel about smaller cubes. I'd actually prefer like a 57mm cube for normal solving. I'm really not a big fan of the whole trend of smaller cubes. I don't know, 54.5, 55.5, 56, all that. I mean, I can usually stand a 55.5 or 56 nowadays because they're so prevalent. But 54, wow, this thing's almost like a mini cube for one-handed use or something like that. But I don't know. I'm definitely up for this thing changing my mind. So let's get right into it here and see what I think. First of all, this packaging is pretty baffling. There we go. There's how you get into it. Either the packaging's baffling or I'm just not that bright. But as you can see, there it is. And wow, a GAN cube in stickerless has not been seen since the GAN 3 V1 and V2. And also the 357, I forgot about that. And it is awesome. Just it looks very, very cool. And wow, first turns and first impressions. This thing is awesome. Wow, it definitely is smaller. I can feel the 54mm. Okay, so I guess what I can say out of the box turning, it is a little bit sandier than the Ganair SM out of the box. It's also a lot faster, wavier, and if I had to say, there's a different feel to it that I can't quite place. That's really interesting. Actually, let's just go for a full scramble here since I kind of messed it up already. Wow, I'm going to have to do some more solves and get some full impressions on here. I'll probably do a review video later. But man, this thing has such a different feel from the SM. It can't really even be compared. It's, with the current nuts in here, it definitely feels a bit more flexible, first of all, which is really interesting. I don't know exactly how to describe that. But let's just see what tensions it's on here. A little bit tight on that side there, and about good on all the other ones there. Corner cutting, standard GAN cube. Man, I'd have to say this reminds me of like the Ganair Ultimate, if anything there. The Ganair, not the UM, but the Ultimate, the one without magnets. Super lightweight and super flexible. Just like really kind of unstable and all that. It's not a bad thing though. I actually kind of like it because it corner cuts so well and has such a smooth feeling that it doesn't even matter. That is that flexible. But anyway, let's just try a quick through the camera solve as my first solve, and this is going to be really, really bad because through the camera you cannot see anything. But let's just go. Ready, set, go, and I'll give some more impressions after that. Definitely does feel like it's going to need some break-in here after the initial first turns, and I think it'll get a lot different feel after that. But initially, man, I am liking the feel of this cube. It's so unfortunate that it's 54mm. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get used to it, and it's probably not going to be that big of a deal in actual practice. But man, it does feel weird straight out of the box. And let's see here if I can get that done. That's a bad solve. But anyway, let's just pop a center cap off here, and those are pretty well affixed, kind of with the same type of mechanism as the Rubik's Speed Cube, which is kind of interesting. And actually that is a cube that more reminds me of this cube than the Ganair SM. This cube just doesn't feel like the SM at all in my opinion, but as you can see, it does have the clear nuts in there, which generally that's the one I preferred on the SM. And also it has this really interesting magnet design. I'm sure you've seen this in multiple things now, but it has just kind of like a pressed in slash drilled in magnet design. It also does have the honeycomb pattern in there, and also has primary internals as you're used to seeing with GAN cubes. But I guess first impressions, it is more flexible in the SM with the clear nuts. It turns with such a, it's a very solid, but also very, very, very fast and very airy feel. And man, I like it. I'm really interested to see how this actually responds to solves and all that, and I can't wait to see how the angstrom version of this cube would be, or other things like that. Let me try some perms and stuff on here. It just flows so well. Man, that's ridiculous. I'm going to spam TPS all day long on this. And as you can see, my finger is going through the pieces there. That's just showing you how it's saying how flexible it is. Let me go see if I can find SM quickly so I can compare that. Okay, well, actually couldn't find a Ganair SM, at least right here. I do have two of them, but I think they're both upstairs. I did find a Ganair UM, which this one here is feeling pretty gummy because I haven't used it in a while. But this is the cube that I most compared the turning of this new one to, which, if I do a quick comparison there, the UM definitely is a little bit louder, so this one still has the quietness of the Ganair SM. And also, it is just a little bit softer feeling. But the Ganair UM, just that kind of solid feel, and a little bit stronger magnets, I think, is what I'm relating it to. And just that little bit faster feel. It's definitely a little bit more stable than the 354, which is why I was comparing this more to the Ganair Ultimate, just the standard version without the magnets of the UM. But I don't know. I'm going to have to give more impressions later on. I guess those are my first impressions. This thing is awesome, but also a little bit odd. Okay, well, now that we have that out of the way, let's go to a non-GAN cube before I go on to the final GAN cube. Let's go for the new MoYu GTS3 M. And this one here is one that's going to be very interesting for me. I personally did not like the GTS2. It's too fast, too uncontrollable, and too small for me. I've since gotten used to the size with the Little Magic and similar, which the Little Magic is my main right now. I have a whole bunch of really nice setup ones in various configurations. But I guess all in all, I just never really liked the GTS2M, even though it's heralded by most as a really good cube when it came out, and it definitely is a really good cube. It just wasn't for me. GTS3, I've heard described both with the stronger magnet strength, and also that it sort of is a back to roots feeling more reminiscent to the GTS V1, which I really did like that cube. So without further ado, I'm really excited to get right into this and try this out. First off, let's take a look at this packaging. It's even more premium than the GTS2 packaging was. The GTS2 was one of the first cubes to come with the little magnetic flap on the box. I remember reviewers like GR Cuber saying, oh, that's so cool, it's got a magnet in the box. But also, it's kind of interesting, they've added the bottom here with the cubing classroom line, another cubing classroom looking thing, and some other things right here. But anyway, you go into here, and you're presented with a very premium delivery. First off, you have what I can only assume to be manuals and tensioning tools and things in there. It says accessories box on there. And then you also have your cube in a really nice stand. I like this stand. That's actually really, really cool idea. It's got a little piece right there, which I don't know what that is for, but also to stand it maybe. I don't know exactly. But anyway, let's pop this off here. And there's a cube. First impressions, it's a little bit heavier than the GTS2. And also, man, that is super dry out of the box. Also kind of like the GTS2. It is going to need a little bit of lubrication / setup out of the box. But here's the lube working in a little bit. And first impressions, yes, that is exactly what I was hoping to feel from this cube. It does feel more like a GTS1 than GTS2 did. Also, it has ridges. I forgot to mention that. That is really odd. It is the first 3x3, by my knowledge, to have ridges on it like that. I mean, there probably was like a concave or a pillar cube, which could almost be said to have ridges on it. But this is the first main worthy 3x3 speed cube with ridges. Also, this thing is surprisingly actually more stable than the GAN 354M. It is feeling pretty stable right now, and also the tensions are a bit wonky straight out of the box. No, they're actually pretty good. Okay, well, just that one side there was feeling kind of weird. See, it's just kind of pulling to that one side. That's kind of strange. I think it's just the magnet strength / lube kind of sticky together. But anyway, first impressions, I really do like the magnet strength in this. This thing is way better than the stock magnetic GTS2M out of the box, just for the magnet strength alone. Speed out of the box is not crazy fast like the GTS2 was. It's fast. Don't get me wrong, but it's more GTS1 fast than GTS2 fast, and it's crispy. I like the turning of this thing. It feels a little bit more clacky, almost a little bit cheaper, but I'm not sure if that would be the right way to go about this. I think the right setup, it will feel a little bit different, but right now it feels very airy and kind of that clacky feel that you get with some of the Fangshi cubes or something like that. Not quite exactly. I don't know. It has a weird feel for me. And also, I'm just noticing this kind of darker red. That's kind of odd. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the shades here. It has kind of a weird green and a darker red and a... I don't know, that blue's okay. It's kind of to the purple side. I don't know. It's not a big deal. And it's not really something to be super critical of. But I guess you're just kind of getting my first impressions. For a critic's point of view of the GTS3, I'm really hoping this is going to change my mind on the top end MoYu cubes. I really like the MF3 RS2 when it's all set up in the magnetic variants, and I really like the MF3 RS, but I wasn't a big fan of their flagship cubes since the GTS1, and this right here could be a game changer. I'm trying to figure out how much I like the ridges. That's really interesting. I don't know. It could be a good one-handed cube just because of that, but they're pretty subtle, I do have to say. So that's what most people were saying. They don't really like the ridges, but they're pretty subtle, and that's what I'm feeling here. I can imagine they feel kind of sharp on the edges. It does feel a little bit sharp. I don't know. First impressions, I like the cube, but I'm not super in love with it. I think with some setup and everything else, this thing could be made a lot better. It is kind of dry out of the box, and the stock lubes just kind of speed up really quickly and just give it kind of a, not a crazy out of the box feel. But I think that could be made a lot better with a little bit of setup. It is pretty dry out of the box. Okay, let me quickly check what's in the accessories box before I do a couple more turns on that right there. And as you can see, you get quite a few things in here. Another interesting thing from the GTS1 is the tensioning system. This is pretty sloppy right here. Another interesting thing is this tensioning system, which I forget exactly what this is called, but it's like the advanced tensioning system or something. I don't know. It's like the advanced adjustment system or something from the GTS V1. This is an optional accessory. As you can see, it has the two tensioning tools there, and it also has some little wrenches and other accessories, along with a couple magnets. So you can set up this cube almost similar to like the GES system in the GAN cubes. It's a different way to tension your cube, and it's pretty interesting to re-implement it here after the GTS2. As you can see, there's the functional cube display box. They show how to do all that. We also have some MoYu cards here for Sungbum Cho. I'm sure I butchered your name. I'm sorry about that. And also, I'm assuming, so the guy who makes the cubes at MoYu. I don't know enough about these cards, apparently. And also a very interesting instruction manual so you can learn how to solve the cube, because I'm assuming you don't know how to if you have bought this Rubik's Cube. Okay, so I guess first impressions on the GTS3 M out of the box is not great. It needs some setup, it needs some work. As you can see, it will not even cut 45. It barely cuts right there, and reverse is about right there. So it's definitely going to need some setup to be good. But I do see potential in this cube. I think this is better than the GTS2, in my opinion, from somebody who really didn't like the GTS2. And I have a feeling this is actually going to be really good for one-handed. I don't know why. It's very stable, but it's also very quick. And I actually like the ridges for that. A little bit smaller, and I'm not good one-handed. But for me, that's my first impressions. And that's about what I think on the GTS3. I'll probably do a actual comparison / maybe full review on that cube in the future after I get some solves in, and we'll see on that. Okay, so I guess we'll stick with 3x3s before we get into the final GAN cube there. Next up, I have an SCS Cosmic Cube, and let me see quickly what this is. Let me pull this out of the bag. Big reveal. What is it? So it looks like a little magic, but let me pull this out of here. This is not a little magic. This is a YuXin Huanglong M, which actually I paid $48 for this, for the SCS Cosmic version. After discounts and everything, obviously that came down to about $40, but still a pretty expensive cube, and I am always very impressed at how well SCS wraps their cubes. I cannot get into them. How do I open this cube? No, this is last time too, but let me find where is the best place to actually open this thing here, and let's get out of the wrapping. Make it easy and get a knife here. Man, this is like cube origami right here they've pulled off at SCS packaging department. Commented on this last time, and man, it is very repeatable and very good. They're very good at their packaging here. It's very shrink wrapped. Just let me get to my cube. Okay, well, this is going to be a 50-minute compilation of man tries to open Rubik's cubes and fails. Okay, starting now. This is professional reviewing at its finest. First of all, I can't get out of the package. Secondly, it looks very unelegant. And thirdly, my camera cuts off halfway through, so I don't get commentary. But anyway, here it is, my first SCS Cosmic 3x3. And this is really interesting. This thing is super gummy out of the box. Oh man, see, I turn it this direction. I go to turn this direction. Man, that is a lot of resistance. Man, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that is super, super gummy. Oh man, I can barely even do first turns on this thing just because of the absolute gumminess. But as I start turning it here, just with this random set of moves, which I should probably move to actually doing perms. Oh man, this thing is so stiff out of the box. That's crazy. Man, this could be a lot of break-in. But after all that, I assume this is going to be an absolutely amazing cube. This is a YuXin Huanglong M, if I haven't said that yet. And also, from Cosmic Services, this thing comes really tight. Oh man, I'm going to have to loosen that up quite a bit. I bet it will not corner cut 45 degrees. No, not even close. The corner cut's about there. Okay, so anyway, I'm definitely going to have to tension that. And I guess I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, and there we go, all tensioned up. Let's get this back together here and see exactly how it works. I'm actually really interested to try this cube because this, as far as I can tell, is an upgraded Little Magic and also the new flagship from YuXin. And there we go, that is way better. I mean, it's still crazy gummy, but at least it is turnable. Now the tensions have been fixed and your corner cutting is to full, which is good. A flagship cube, that's how it should be, and I have anticipation that this is going to be amazing. Wow, this thing turns awesome. Mentioned before, the Little Magic has been my main for a good while now, and this cube definitely sets to possibly at least match it, if not replace it, which is pretty impressive and quite a feat because I have a lot of different cubes, and so far I have preferred different versions of the Little Magic over any other ones here. Let me see. It's still not quite loose enough to get a piece out, but as you can see, it has kind of the primary plastic centers, primary plastic stalks, and actually non-primary plastic edge pieces. Kind of interesting. But let's just do a quick scramble and do a solve on this. Still super gummy, so it's going to be kind of difficult. Oh man, yeah, this thing is super gummy. Really, really crazy. YuXin Huanglong, though, they have some interesting innovations here. First off, like I said, it is actually kind of based on a budget cube design, but with some minor improvements. And one of those is the ball bearings in the corners, which is actually really, really interesting to add to a 3x3, kind of like the ridges. I don't know what it is this season with all the different innovations in 3x3 design that are all a little bit odd and strange. Also solving through the camera here, so I can barely see the cube at all. It's going to be a really bad solve, but anyway, very odd innovations this season in the cube design, but I think they are working pretty well. I do like the ball bearings in this thing so far. I'm assuming this one does have the ball bearings in it, and so far it's a satisfactory solve experience. I like the little bit added weight to it, and just all in all, the turning on this thing is absolutely amazing. Wow, I'm definitely going to do some more solves on this and break it in, and I guess we'll see my final impressions after all that. There's a really bad end perm, and my least favorite perm to end it off. And as you can see, I'm very bad at it also. So there it is, the Cosmic YuXin Huanglong M. More thoughts to come. So far, very impressed. Okay, and now we are to the final cube in this giant crazy unboxing. We still have some accessories and things to go after this. This is the GAN 460M. I definitely hesitated to get this one a little bit right when it first came out. It took me a little while to actually pull the trigger. When I did, though, I decided to go full boat. I believe I got this, I don't think it's Cosmic. I think I got this in Supernova. But either way, I got this set up, and this is a GAN 460M. GAN's first 4x4. The microphone malfunction, hopefully you didn't hear that. But as you can see, this has the standard GS V2 nuts, has the full set of all 7 of them. I was going to say 6 because there's 6 here, but I think there's 1 in the cube already. So that's cool. I'm assuming those are just standard GS V2 nuts and a standard GS V2 driver. There is a way to get that in there apparently. And also the GAN how to solve a 4x4 tutorial. I'm going to need this. I don't know how to solve 4x4. Who does? So anyway, here it is. There is the Supernova badging. I actually have had an MF3 RS2M in Supernova service before, so I'm not super new to it. And also, this is, as described on their website, their 4x4 and 5x5 box. So is there a 5x5 coming? We don't know, but here's the 4x4 box that comes along with it. And here is the not quite as good as Cosmic packaging service. It is a lot easier to open, though, I have to say, which I guess is both a pro and a con. So this is very interesting. First of all, it's a GAN cube. Second of all, it's a 4x4. Third of all, there are very mixed reviews on this one. And it's interesting. Look at the centers here. It looks kind of crazy. Even more so on the stickerless one, but it looks kind of like waves on these up here. And then it's kind of removed from this really like Rubik's-esque 2x2 in the center. Very, very strange. Okay, let's give this thing some quick first turns and first impressions. I've been getting really into 4x4 lately. I currently average right at like 102 with Yao with a PB of like 46 seconds. So I'll definitely be doing some extensive solves and probably a review on this at a later date. My favorite and main cube right now is the Ångström Wuchuei M, which is spring compressed, but I also go back and forth between a lot of other really good 4x4s, including the Mini Thunderclap M, the YuXin Blue spring swapped M, and also the MoYu GTS3 M. So this definitely is going to add to that lineup. I also pre-ordered the Wuchuei Mini, so I'm really excited to get that one in. But this is going to add right in there. And first impressions, wow, those center slices are really, really good by themselves. But once you start trying to add those in with some other moves, they get kind of strange. I don't know exactly. But so far, I'm finding the outer layers to be really good by themselves, but maybe a little bit tight. Yeah, this thing's really tight. I'm going to have to loosen this thing up significantly, kind of like the Cosmic Cube there. I was wondering why it seems just so weird and tight. I'm going to have to try some different GES combinations in this thing too. That'll be really interesting. But first off, let's loosen up a little bit. Okay, and wow, I'm really confused exactly what's going on with this 460M. Did I get a weird one or what? I don't think they're supposed to include the GS nut set because those just do not fit. That's definitely not going to happen. And I guess this is how they do it right here, which I can't hate on it too much. It's literally exactly the same as pre-GS GAN cubes and probably the same as the 2x2. Okay, there are all the little caps off. Let me just put one of these back on here quickly and show you how you're supposed to technically remove these. A lot of people go from the center, and apparently that can break them. Go from the outside. There's a little thumbtack under there, and it'll pull right up. Hopefully don't have any caps falling off or any other issues there. But what is that? What kind of GS nut is that? That doesn't look like these ones in the tins. Now I'm very confused. Let me open one of these up quickly here. I have a feeling that these GS-V2 nuts are not going to fit the 4x4, so why did they even include them? That's really weird. Let me quickly open one of these up, and as you can see, those are the standard GS-V2 nuts, and I have a sneaking suspicion these are just not going to fit. And of course, they include 2 tools in here, and they also include this tool. This is a confusing package. I don't know exactly what I'm getting here now. I'm going to try these GS-V2 on there. I'm assuming these don't fit. I mean, they just don't look like they do. So why did they include them? That's very strange. I mean, free GS-V2 nuts, but that's very interesting. Okay, let me quickly tension this thing, and then I'll get back to it. This is the smaller side of the tool, as you can see, and also I can't grip it. Okay, and wow, I'm really confused exactly what's going on with this 460M. Did I get a weird one, or what? I don't think they're supposed to include this GS nut set because those just do not fit. That's definitely not going to happen. And I guess this is how they do it right here, which I can't hate on it too much. It's literally exactly the same as pre-GS GAN cubes and probably the same as the 2x2. I actually haven't taken that one apart to see, but as you can see, it's just a spring with a tension cap on it. It's definitely the earlier way to do it, but it does work just fine. As I am pretty thoroughly confused why they include the GS-V2 nuts. Maybe this was just an error, but I'm not exactly sure. Either way, I guess I got a free set of GS-V2 nuts, and let's reinstall and tension this thing up and get some more impressions. Okay, so I have to say, these caps are pretty easy to get off, pretty easy to get back on, and pretty easy to tension, but man, that whole thing there with the actual GS nuts and all is pretty interesting. I get how they do it with the 2x2. I mean, you really can't make a whole new GS system just for the 4x4 to have different tensions and all that. It would be nice, but that is how it is. I was pretty confused seeing those there, though, because I was just like, huh, that's kind of interesting. Didn't know those came with it, and I was even more confused when I realized they actually didn't fit it, so that's just kind of odd. But anyway, this 4x4 will probably be really nice, and I'm not sure if it'll be my new main or not, but for sure, it's going to be a really nice 4x4, and it's not a repeat of the GAN 249 V1 thing, and they're not going to be releasing a V2 very quickly for this one. So anyway, just about done getting these caps back on. It definitely is more tedious than like a 3x3 where they only have 6 caps. This thing here has way more than that, which I mean I should probably do the actual calculation, but I'm not going to. I mean it's 24, isn't it? Is my math still on? I mean I'm supposed to know math very well, aren't I? Anyway, there we go. Last couple caps. Let's get this back on there, and there we go. We're back. Okay. So I start a little bit looser tensions. I'm going to go from there, adjust it from there, see accordingly how I should adjust it for this initial adjustment. And man, my turning on 4x4 is not working right now. Okay, let's go for 3x3 turning first, and then I'll go for some slice turns. 3x3 turning is far, far, far improved once I actually tensioned it there. As you can see, way looser, has that really crispy, crunchy feel I was hearing in other people's review videos. Let's check corner cutting here quickly. Corner cuts right in the center of that second piece right there. Reverse cutting, actually more reverse cutting than I expected. Right at line to line, not quite more than line to line. Corner twisting, not bad. Not going to be a big issue. Let's test the slices now. I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit too loose. How I solve it, it's definitely going to need a lot of break-in before it's going to be really good. Right now it's feeling pretty dry and also not super flexible in those center layers. It's really catching on those kind of center pieces, which are really close together. Let's just quickly check corner cutting in the center layer. I mean, not really necessary, but might as well check it while I'm at it. And I don't know. First impressions, it feels pretty unstable and it feels pretty weird, but it might just need some more setup / break-in to feel better. Right now, I'm not sure. It just feels pretty unstable. Pretty sure I can set up a little bit differently, but right now it's feeling kind of strange. So I'm going to have to do some solves on that and kind of see how it breaks in. The 3x3 stage is very interesting and very, very smooth. It feels like a spring compressed Wuchuei without being spring compressed, so that's nice. And the center slices are pretty decent. They're better than like an MoYu GTS3 M straight out of the box. And I have a feeling this thing will break in pretty well. Just got to do a bunch of solves on it and see how it works for me. I'm not going to do a 4x4 solve through the camera because nobody wants to see that. That would be really, really bad. If 3x3 solves take me so long, 4x4 is going to take way longer. And there's a minor catch / internal pop. And there we are. Okay, so that's it for the GAN 460M. I'm definitely going to be doing follow-up videos, probably comparing this to a bunch of other top flagship 4x4s on the market once the WuTroy Mini comes in, and a couple others. This could be my new 4x4 Mini main, or not what I was going to say, 4x4 OH main. Do 4x4 OH sometimes, and this could be decent for that. But either way, fairly good cube, not blown away out of the box, but fairly good. I think the whole winner out of this entire thing is the GAN 354M. I don't know why, but this thing just clicks with me. Actually try to get a focus. I think it's such a cool turning style. I don't know if it's going to actually translate to fast times, but it just feels so awesome. Yeah, I don't know how much more to explain it than that. Also, the YuXin Huanglong, I'd say once I break it in, this is going to be a lot better, but straight out of the box, a little bit too gummy because it's cosmic. So, anyway, let's get into the last couple of things right here. The unboxing is almost done. I have a couple bonuses at the end as well. Right here, we have some extras for the YuXin Huanglong. We have some of the new solar and lunar lube from SCS. Actually, I placed the second order with the Valk Mini and a couple other things there. And we also have some stickers, which are all in these receipts right here, which they always send. Nice receipts and all this stuff here. Nice little SpeedCubeShop business card. Okay, so I guess that's actually just going to be the receipt and also the inspection guide. Okay. Other one here, though, we do have some stickers. Let me just pull it right off there. These are going to be for the YuXin Little Magic and the YuXin Little Magic. So pretty boring there, but I do have a YuXin Little Magic that's boron treated where the stickers were not quite up to spec. So I'm going to be replacing with these, and also I have some other YuXin Little Magics. I might as well put my scheme on, so I got some more there. And a little bit different than that, I guess it's kind of a sneak preview. Wow, lots of SCS logos. Oh man. Diane Zanchi 46mm. This is for the first run of Diane Zanchi old plastic force cubes. I'm going to be making one run of old plastic 46mm force cubes and one run of new plastic 46mm force cubes for release coming up here fairly soon. Instead of buying my merch to support the channel, I'm going to be selling old plastic Diane and new plastic Diane 2x2s all set up and with custom logos, cards, limited edition, special stickers, all that kind of stuff from me. Definitely still in the works and probably not going to be releasing here for a little while, but if you're interested in that, I guess there it is. There's the sneak preview. There's a little bit of announcement, a proper announcement video, an actual build video, and all that coming up here fairly soon. Okay, I mentioned bonuses. Let's go get a couple more things to unbox. I have a big pile. Let's grab a couple more. Okay, first up here, this actually is kind of chilling at my feet. This is actually unboxing from Mike Calin on Instagram. I'll take his Instagram in the description below, but we had a quick little trade deal here, and I think this is a Giga minx, a ShengShao Giga minx, and man, it's been sitting around forever, so sorry it took me so long to unbox this, but let's finally get into it here and see exactly what we have. Actually, really cool here, a little bonus. He threw in a custom-made 1x1 barrel, which that kind of rounds out, no pun intended, my 1x1 collection, and man, there's so many colors on this thing. This is going to be a pain to solve. I'll figure out how to solve it sometime, but the parity on this one, if the normal one is bad, actually, you know what? Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, I lost track. Let me check that again. Start with green, 2, 4, 6, 8, 8. 8's parity. Darn it. Okay, I thought I might have gotten out of it. The color scheme is a little bit different. But all in all, very cool. It is very lightweight. So I'm wondering if this is 3D printed or just made out of something. Either way, very cool. And definitely going to be attempting a solve on this in the future. Maybe a live stream or something? I don't know. It's going to take me forever. I probably will just not even attempt that for a while until I'm all caught up on everything. Okay, so now for the actual puzzle that I've been waiting for quite a while. This is a ShengShao Giga minx, and I'm really excited to actually do some solves on this. I have the pyraminx, which obviously is fun and all, but right now I have that in super flip, and I don't want to solve it that much. The Giga minx, on the other hand, first of all, this is in really nice shape. I thought this was going to be a used one, but this is in really nice shape. Let's just do first turns on this one here. It does seem a little bit catchy out of the box, but that's just ShengShao puzzles in general. With a little bit of setup, that should go away. I definitely am really excited to speed solve Giga minx a little bit. I'm just curious what kind of times I can get on that. pyraminx was fun, but Giga minx should be even more fun because it's smaller. It's like the 5x5 equivalent of the Mega minx. So there that is. not super crazy. It's a used puzzle, and it was in a trade off Instagram, but I am actually really excited about this one. I have not went for the full minx collection yet. I will be getting the pyraminx, the 8-layer minx, and a couple other ones from ShengShou. They have a Kill-minx that's like a 4x4 mega minx, and some other ones I don't have yet. And definitely will be getting those in the future. This is just another one for that set. Moves very smoothly. And let's just quickly check corner cutting here. Has some corner cutting even. So anyway, very, very cool. Super happy to have this unboxed finally, so I can actually solve it. Okay, and final unboxing for today. This is from Puzzle Crate. I've seen this company around for quite a while, and I've seen a lot of other YouTube channels actually unboxing their puzzle crates, so I don't know why I haven't yet. I actually need to order one for this month, but this is for last month, and this is the, I guess, July puzzle crate? No, I think this is the June puzzle crate. I think I'm just behind quite a bit. So anyway, either way, whatever one this is, let me quickly get into this. And I actually really like the idea of getting puzzles every month that are custom chosen. And for the most part, I've seen they get some pretty cool stuff out of here. So let's see what's in here. I'm sure you have seen from other YouTubers what's in here already. But let me take a look for the first time. We have Nebula Cosmic Lubricant from SCS. MoYu Cubing Classroom Fisher's Cube. This was designed by Nathan Wilson and it's really, really cool. And also the Chi Clover Cube Plus. I actually don't know what the plus is on it, but I've been wanting one of the Chi Clover Cubes for a long time, so I'm sure I can solve it like that. And then if I want to tackle the plus, I can also try that. I like all these little cards that come along with it too. And also the iconic Puzzle Crate packaging. Okay, well, let's take a look at this here. These are probably my first time goodies. So I get a big Puzzle Crate sticker. I get a Calvin's Puzzle cube stand. That's kind of interesting. And then the actual puzzles down here. And try not to make a mess with whatever this stuff is here. It's a little cardboard stuff. Let's pull these two puzzles out of here. And I'll take a closer look. Okay, so I remember this is actually a first time perk as well. This is just a little 5cc bottle of Nebula Lube. I actually haven't tried this one out before, so I'm interested to see how that works. And then here are the actual puzzles. As you can see, the box is a little bit distressed in this one, but it's just a MoYu Cubing Classroom Fisher's Cube. Designed by Nathan Wilson, as I said. I think I'm going to have a lot of trouble solving this. I am not super great at Scube, and this one is really interesting. Actually, you know what? That doesn't turn too badly. And by that, I mean like it doesn't turn on really weird axes as I actually assumed it would. It's pretty logical. I mean, there's these crosses. It moves through the crosses. So that's actually really interesting. I'll have to try and solve that. Out of the box is like a lot of their Cubing Classroom puzzles. It feels like it's going to break in pretty quickly, but it's pretty dry and pretty sandy and a little bit catchy. But like I said, I think that's going to break in pretty quick, and that is a really cool puzzle. As you can see from this side here, that kind of shows how interesting the turning on this is. If you don't know, like a Fisher Cube is a cube that's turned 90 degrees and then cut, which actually I got one there, the Cubing Classroom Fisher Cube, in my SpeedCubeShop unboxing there earlier. As you can see right here, this is a 3x3 version of a Fisher Cube, and then this is a Fisher version of a Scube. That's just really cool. It's a really neat non-WCA puzzle, and one that I'm really excited MoYu is making. It's one of their new series of different non-WCA puzzles, and I'll have to try and figure out if I can solve that. It doesn't have ball bearings or anything else in it, and let's see, does it shapeshift? Yes, of course it shapeshifts. Look at that. That is super cool. Okay, and one more puzzle here. This one is actually pretty heavy. This is one of Chi's new non-WCA type cubes. This is the Chi Clover Cube Plus. And actually, you know what? I remember what's up with this one here. This is actually super cool. This is a 2x2 with Clover Cube possibilities. Let's see, does it turn like that when it's scrambled? Nope, it does not. Let's see, does it jumble at all? I think it does. Let me see if I can figure that out at all. I am pretty new to this whole Clover Cube thing. I have a Land that I just got. And there we go. That's cool. That's going to be really, really neat. Okay. Well, let's see if I can fix this here so I don't scramble it right away. I guess I could scramble the 2x2 section and solve that without trying to move the Clover Cube sections there. But first of all, this thing turns amazingly. Wow. Chi has really stepped up their game on their non-WCA puzzles with the Master Pyraminx and of course the Clover Cube and the Pentacle Cube and a couple other ones that they've come out with recently. This is such a cool idea for a puzzle. It's a Clover Cube that also jumbles and also turns pretty well, and it's also a 2x2. It's also a larger size. I'm not sure how much larger, But here it is next to a normal 56mm 3x3 or 55.5, whatever it is. This is like a 60mm cube or just a little bit larger than that. This thing is super awesome. I'm very excited to learn how to solve this. Let me do a really bad rudimentary 2x2 solve without trying to move these faces. It's kind of difficult. But as you can see, you can solve it either as a 2x2 or a clover cube or both. That's actually really neat. And I don't know who came up with the idea, but that is genius. That is a really cool idea. Okay, let me try and do a proper perm here without moving the stupid face. Okay, well that's kind of annoying. How this thing just kind of moves back and forth when you're trying to grip it and move it, and I think I messed up. This J-perm, I think, is what I was trying there. Or maybe not. Okay, well, there you go. Muscle memory prevails. Anyway, there you go. That is one of the coolest puzzles that I currently have in my collection. It's stickerless. It's got the Clover Cube variant. It also has the 2x2. That is super awesome. Gee, Clover Cube Plus. And that about ends off this unboxing for today. Man, my voice is shot. I haven't done this whole thing in a while, and I'm kind of dreading going into editing and seeing how this whole mess turns out. Is this going to be a good video? Is it going to be 50 minutes long? Is it going to be totally rambly and out there? I don't know. But anyway, I'll try to improve in later unboxings. I probably shouldn't have started on the SpeedCubeShop unboxing because those tend to get a lot of views, which, I mean, big deal. Guess that's how it works. But anyway, glad to be back. Glad to be unboxing. Have a bunch to catch up on. A bunch of stuff to do. Planning a lot of videos in the future. Thank you for watching this video today. Like, comment, subscribe below if you haven't already below. So stay tuned for more unboxings, reviews, all that type of stuff on the KSCuber channel. Also make sure to check out my Instagram at KS_Cuber for a lot more cubing updates. I post usually daily on there, if not more. I post cube images, cube updates, solves, all that type of stuff. So make sure to follow me on there to stay updated with all that kind of stuff. If you don't have an Instagram, don't worry. I mean, that's just how it is. That's about it. Rambling outro. Don't know what I'm saying. KSCuber out. Goodbye.